Hey YouTube. Now, before the DLC came out, did anyone out there think we needed another katana that shoots blue lasers? Well, it's what we've got. This is Starline sword. It's an int-based katana with a bit of dex scaling as well. It has the Ash of War Onz's line of stars, and it allows you to do 3 inputs as part of the Ash. So you've got the initial L2, and you can do 2 more. Basically, you just kind of jump around. You do a few somersaults, and you fire off blue lasers. Now, if you're able to land all 3, it does really good damage. But because of the way you kind of basically fly around with the Ash, very often you kind of won't land all 3. Though the final one can be quite cool for closing distance. But you can see I got a few up there. Now, so I guess I could say if you like Moonveil and you wanted to try something similar but different, you'll be disappointed to know this doesn't do as much damage. If you hated Moonveil, you'll be pleased to know this doesn't do as much damage. Now, the reason for me using the weapon, when I was looking through my inventory, it was just giving me some heavy Soul Reaver vibes. So I thought maybe it's time for Raziel to make an appearance with some of the DLC content. So here he is, our little blue vampire. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Raziel was the main character in a game called Soul Reaver on the PlayStation 1. If you haven't played it and you've got a way of playing PS1 games, you should really check it out. It's probably the closest you'll get to Dark Souls on PlayStation 1, and it's got a little bit of Tomb Raider and Zelda Link to the Past thrown in as well. Honestly, you won't regret it. Just genuinely superb game. But you can see here, the host is backed into a corner, so rather than just trying to spam the Ash, I've actually done some two-handed attacks there. Now, I was finding, because I don't have a little, or I don't have a lot of poise on the build, I've actually switched my armor up here. So this is the Seraphan version of Raziel. That will overlook the fact that he's still using the Soul Reaver if there's any legacy of Canaanites there, because obviously the Seraphan Raziel would not be using the Soul Reaver. So, just pretend. If Vorador can appear in Blood Omen 2, then I think it's all okay. But yeah, the weapon, I gotta admit, it's not one of my favourite. I would have liked it if they'd added some more straight swords. So obviously we have the Sword of Light and we have the Sword of Darkness. We didn't get the Boulder Side Sword, which I think a lot of people were kind of wishing would make a comeback. Instead we got this, and it's okay. So in a lot of the invasions, you'll actually see me relying on the sorceries a lot. So this one here, by the way, these two, it's Taunter's Tongue. You can see them using Mimic Veil, and they kind of run through that little hole there. So I know full well this is an ambush, but I fancy my chances, and I know they're not going to come out. So there's a little jump, the jump of optimism. Sometimes you've just got to go for it, and there we go. There's our man with his 2 katanas. But I've got quite a decent set of incantations added to the build. So it's a Luzat's Glintstone Staff, so a bit more FP per cast, but the damage is good. Lock on, reliable as ever there for that that final cast. I've got Gravitational Missile, which I absolutely love. Talk about that a lot. Just a really great nuisance spell. Collapsing Stars I'll often use. I have a few other things as well. So Carrion Greatsword. So what I was trying to do, there's that true combo, Carrion Greatsword into Carrion Piercer, which is really nice. If you haven't seen that before, you should definitely check that out. But there we go, Carrion Piercer, one of the best sorceries in the game for my money. Range, damage, chargeable. Really good as well, because the if you charge it up, the timing can often catch people out. There we have a very confident Phantom. I always say, if you're going to bag, wait until the end of the duel or the invasion when you've won. If you do it before, you're probably asking for trouble. There we go. He's got Knight's Lightning Spear, which we all know is super strong. But, you know, I'm just using some sorceries there just to keep them at bay. There come the thorns. Yes. I expect those will get a heavy nerf. I think if and when we get balance patch. So certainly the day I'm recording this, there hasn't been one. By the time this goes out, it'll be a few days. There might be one. There they go. They're aggroing enemies there. That's not too bright, really, is it? Bit of night comet. So let's see what these two are made of. There we go. Jump attacks. Love those. Yes, gravitational missile. So you can see the way the ash works. You do close distance quite well. I mean, that bit I really like. And then we've got our phantom down. I did say, mate, don't bag at the start, bag at the end, because it will come back to bite you. There we go. More thorns. And carrion piercer. There you go. So I think probably an indication of the strength of the weapon, the Starline sword, is the amount of times you actually see me switching to using the spells. I just kind of found myself, you know, I kind of felt I could do more with the spells than I could do with the weapon. You know, if I was using Moonveil, it might have been the other way around. So this host here, he's lost his phantom. I tell you what, I wish you could backstab people when they're opening the door. And how is that not a backstab? How is that not? So you can see, like, the ash. It looks cool, but you know, it's you know, he's got plenty of time to run away there. And there we go. So you'll see this sword doesn't just have L2. It has other attacks as well. You know, and I guess that's the kind of the thing. Any weapon like this where you've got a flashy kind of L2, the temptation is to just kind of default to that. But, you know, other buttons are available. And we've got a host here. We've got a phantom who, you know, is trying to do his job for the host. I often say that, you know, most kind of phantoms don't do their job. They're not very good at protecting the host. So I think the phantom got killed by PvE there. It might have been my Gavelaheimer blast, but you'll see the number of times, you know, I'm just actually switching to Gavelaheimer rather than relying on the weapon. So we should have phantom down, I think, relatively quickly in this one. So you'll kind of see me trying to trade with the host, and it's just where we're both just hitting each other. There you go, the phantom's I think he's down there from a bit of PvE. So he's just got me and the host going at it, just knocking each other out of our attacks. So yeah, I just kind of feel maybe, you know, we didn't need another katana. It would have been nice to get I don't know, like a couple more straight swords, but you know, it's not bad. It's just not super strong. But maybe, you know, we didn't want a katana that was see, I kind of respect the host here for trying to fight, but with all the PvE stuff around, I think he was probably better off just well, just running away, really, to try and get a bit more space. But you know, fair play to him. Now the game Soul Reaver, I love to talk about this any chance I get, because it is one of the kind of, for me, it's one of the all-time classics, certainly of the PlayStation 1 era. It had this really cool mechanic. But here's Raziel, he's back, where you could shift between realms. So if you died in what was known as the physical realm, you'd switch to the spectral realm. And basically the layout of the world would change slightly. So there was there were environmental puzzles that you had to solve by switching to the spectral realm, because you could choose to switch there. And then you kind of had to fill up your health bar to move back to the physical realm. But it was quite innovative, the way you solved some of the environmental puzzles. And it was probably the first, or one of the, you know, earliest kind of, you know, modern video games in inverted commas to actually have decent voice acting, because they hired a bunch of Shakespearean actors to do it. So it just really lifted the words off the page, as they say. Right, so here we have the final invasion, and there's something that I often have on intelligence builds that I like to keep in my back pocket, and it fits with the Raziel theme, and this is Lifesteal Fist. So here we have an AFK host. I know he's AFK because I did message him afterwards, and he freely admitted he was farming for runes. But a hunter has turned up, and I've buffed my Raptor Talons with Scholar's Armament. So if you do that on an int build, and you've got the Dagger Talisman and the Shard of Alexander, my Wondrous Physic is boosting my magic damage as well. It's basically a one-shot, so this works at any level. So I think the most I've drained is about 2100 HP, and that was in the Colosseum. So, you know, I'm spoiling the host's rune farm here, so he's decided to put in an appearance. So because I don't have much poise, I need to get the spacing right for a Lifesteal Fist. And there we go. You can see that drains an absolute load of HP, and he's down. Alright, stats and gear coming up. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, and you want to leave me a like or a follow, that'd be awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.